I'm Sister Regina Schroeder. Life for me began in 1941 in a little Catholic settlement in Windthorst, Texas. My parents, both Roman Catholic and active in their faith, were delighted on the arrival of their ninth child. My mom, Sophia, always told me that I was special. I could not figure that out, since there were 10 siblings whom I thought were special also, and I know she told them so too. Dad, Ben, came from a family of 12, and the love between his brothers and sisters and their closeness explained his priority, which was to bring all of us close too. I learned early in my childhood that my birth was a very difficult one for Mom, and death was a strong possibility for both of us. According to Mom, an unexpected miracle happened thanks to the faith and constant prayers of Dad, Grandma, and Mom. I was given the name Olivia, a name passed on from both sides of the family. Dad's sister was a novice at St. Scholastica's Monastery in Fort Smith and had changed her name from Olivia to Sister Anacletus. Mom also had a sister by that name. So, was I special because I received the family name? Or was I special for another reason? I wondered. Church was the center of our lives, as was family life. All of us were educated in a Catholic environment. Although my elementary and most of my high school years took place in the public school system, I always found myself surrounded in a Catholic Christian setting. The Sisters of the Incarnate Word from San Antonio, Texas, staffed the school, and we had a Benedictine pastor from Subiaco Abbey. Dad had a sister in the convent in San Antonio and a brother who was a priest in Subiaco. Now how special is that, I thought. In my home I always felt loved and had parents who always supported not only family life but all religious and priest. It was not a surprise to them when each sibling expressed their desire in life's vocation. 5 of the children chose the sacrament of marriage, and 5 of us chose religious life. I had no idea at the time when my older sisters left home to enter the convent at Fort Smith that I too would join them within a few years. Previously, my brother Robert became a religious brother at Subiaco. He was known later as Brother Leonard. Sister Barbara, my oldest sister, left home when I was about 3 years old, and Sister Marietta when I was 5.5, and Sister Stephanie when I was 10. My mom had all of us younger siblings to write them every week, and we would visit them at least once or twice a year. That way we were to keep in touch and get to know them, but I really did not get to know them until much later in life at the monastery. Growing up, I was a regular old tomboy, and I loved to accompany my 3 brothers in exploring the farm, going hunting and fishing and doing the chores. We had a dairy and a chicken farm, and if we all pitched in and worked hard to get the 40-some cows milked, the barns cleaned, and the eggs gathered, 1,000 chickens fed, and 100 rabbits fed, we would have plenty time to get a good ball game going. It was not unusual for me to be in the midst of the boys' ball games, and being just as competitive as they were, and about as good at it too. When I was a junior in high school, I loved sports and was a top player on the volleyball, softball, and basketball teams at school. Our evenings at home after chores, homework, and a good ball game always ended in prayer. Mom and Dad were oblates of St. Benedict, and they had special prayers to pray, and we always said the daily rosary together before we each received our blessing and got ready for bed. We did go to bed, but sometimes we always messed around until we were strongly reminded that the next day was a school day. I decided to try religious life and made my profession in 1960. Then I received a degree in elementary education and worked in Arkansas and Missouri schools. Being young and athletic, I was the first teacher out for recess, either to play with the children or to coach the 7th and 8th graders in their games. If I am asked, what is your favorite subject to teach? I quickly answer, recess or art, although I love teaching phonics and reading. All the while I was working in the parish and schools, I felt a deeper call to work with adults in the church. During the summer vacations from teaching, I began working on a master's degree toward religious study, pastoral ministry, and education in Detroit and Pontiac, Michigan. In 1978, I began working in parish ministry, developing programs for children and adults alike. I felt privileged to be chosen to begin the RCIA program in the parish just as it began to be introduced in the United States. I eventually started a program citywide for developmentally challenged adults ages 16 to 45. Another group of adults that enriched my life immensely was my work with those who were in their golden years and beyond. Twice a year I presented retreats, days of recollection, which drew from area parishes as well. Through these opportunities and other work as a parish minister to the aging, I was more prepared to meet another event in my life of being the caregiver and manager of my mother's health after Dad's death in 1984. Mom left her home in Texas to come and live with my Sister Stephanie, and me so that we could continue our work in the parish and yet give her the care she needed. She died in 1994 at the age of 90. In the Rule of St. Benedict, we are called to listen to the Word or the call of God. In 1995, God was calling me through the community to come back to the monastery to become the formation director for the young women interested in becoming one of us. I received further education by attending St. John's in Collegeville, Minnesota, and the opportunity to go to Rome for 1 month before delving into the formation work. In 2002, I left formation work and began to manage the gift shop at the monastery. I enjoyed this work, but again, in 2003, there was a community need when my Sister Marietta got ill and could not fulfill her ministry at Russellville in pastoral work, RCIA, and working for the marriage tribunal. Since I was familiar with the type of work that she did, I was asked to go and fulfill a commitment to serve the parish there and the tribunal until there again was a need at the monastery in 2008. I returned to St. Scholastica, and I am on staff serving as procurator and working as a sister supervisor of the maintenance department and housekeeping department. This summer, I celebrated my 52nd year of profession. As we, my sisters and I, do every year, we take time to renew ties with our living siblings and their families. In May, my 86-year-old brother hosted us for 1 week in Texas at the old family farm. In June, and again in August of this year, we visited family in Missouri and Kansas. Periodically, we plan a trip to Massachusetts to visit family there. These times together are very special for me and call me to give thanks for a good life, a blessed life, and a life that has many more great things to come. I guess Mom knew what she was talking about when she said long ago that I was special. I think I must be, for to be a sister here at St. Scholastica in itself is special. I invite any young woman considering a call to religious life to come visit at St. Scholastica and see if this is what God wants for you.